So today I'm going to show you how to cut and also sew this uber stylish, elegant and sophisticated kimono wrap top. You can adapt a basic lapel-less rope pattern into this like I'll show you today, or you draft straight on fabric. It's really easy. So if this interests you, let me show you how it's made. Alright, like I said earlier, I'm going to start by drafting a lapel-less rope for those who want to have this pattern for keeps. If you don't want to work with any pattern at all, then you can draft straight on fabric. I'll explain the little differences you have to make here and there as we go. So get your paper and fabric. If you're drafting on fabric, fold the fabric into two, and you're going to be starting with the back pattern. The same thing goes for those drafting on paper. I'm going to border the top edge of my paper. You can skip that if you're drafting on fabric. Okay, so mark the desired length, and for me this will be the full length of the paper. So mark 4 inches in from this side of the paper and mark all the way and connect with a straight line. This will be your flap. If you're not working with paper, then you can skip this step. Next, mark the arm opening, and this is half of your arm circumference plus by 2 or 5 inches or more, depending on how wide you want the arm opening to be. Okay, and also note that you'll be needing a lot of fabric to make this style. I suggest 6 yards of fabric if you're making just the top, and maybe like 10 yards of fabric if you're making a full length gown. Okay, so label your lines, and this is the hip line here, the bust line, and the flap, which you likely don't have if you're drafting straight on fabric. So on the hip line, mark your hip divided by 4 plus 5 or more, depending on how wide you want this, depending on how free you want this kimono to be on your body. Now at the top edge, mark half of your shoulder measurement and then mark the sleeve length from that point. So then go down by half an inch or 1 inch from this point and connect back to the shoulder point. Okay, mark a neck width of between 2 inches to 4, and I'll go down by 1 inch for my neck depth. So go ahead to connect the points with your curved ruler. So this is the back neck, and for the front I went down by 5 inches. You can also go as low as 10 inches. Roll a line to the bust line. You can mark 2 inches in. This is what you'll be using to shape the armhole. So next, transfer the measurement you have at the hip line to the hem of the paper or your fabric. And connect with a straight line. And with all of this done, go ahead to cut out the pattern with the flap folded in. Okay, so along the top edge of the paper, you can mark half of the full length of your garment. That you can go higher or lower than this depending on where you want the cross to be located, okay, and how you want it to look basically. So now then connect to the neckline. If you're drafting straight on fabric, hold on before you do this shaping, because you are going to be shaping yours after you have used the front to cut the back. Okay, so yeah, so now your pattern is ready, and go ahead to cut on fabric. So for the back, fold the flap in completely to cut the back and cut out the neckline. After cutting the back, open up the flap and place it on the fabric you want to use to cut the front, and the fabric should be on fold, please. So you also need to give enough space for the extension for the wrap or the twist. So you need to give a space of at least 30 inches. You can do like 20 inches, but it will be less fuller and the wrap won't look exactly like this. For a more defined drape and cross, you need at least 30 inches of fabric. Okay, so now fold out the neckline of the pattern as shown. For those who are working on fabric, this is where you lower the neckline. I mean, this is where you mark half of the full length and you connect the neckline as I did previously. It's basically the same step. I hope you're not confused. So just connect as shown and reblend where necessary so that you have a smooth curve. So now go ahead to cut out the front of your kimono. Unpin the back pattern and slash the middle. Okay, so now place the front over the back, and this is where things get really exciting. This is where we're going to create that wrap. This is where we're going to create that beautiful wrap you see in front of this kimono. So first, before we go ahead, let's join the shoulders and the sides, and also go ahead to finish the hem. And you can use an overlock machine to finish the neckline, and also finish the raw edge of the extension and everywhere, so that you have a neat finished look when you're done, because it gets harder to finish up everything after you've sewn it. All right, so I've gone ahead to sew the sides. I have hemmed it. I have also ironed the garment. Always remember to iron as you go. Alright, so lay your kimono as shown, or if you have a mannequin, put it on your mannequin. So take one end of the extension over to the other side. Alright, so repeat the same thing for the other extension. So this is how you form the cross, and I'll explain again. Take the extension of, let's say, the right side over to the left, and take the extension of the left over to the right. Okay, pick one end of the extension and put it together with the other one. Ensure that you have the right sides together. Okay, and stitch. After stitching, grab the extension and fold such that the finished edges are together. Just take the extension and just put it together, just fold it in half. Okay, and make sure that it's the finished edge, the raw edge that you finished, make sure that they're together. So you cross your hand over as shown. All right, so take the extension folded like I explained earlier, and just cross your hand. Just cross your hand to create some form of twist. Okay, so notch the midpoint of the back neckline and pin the folded extension onto it, making sure to align the seam line of the extension to the midpoint of the neckline first. All right, I hope you get that. So now start to pin, and you know, you're going to have 3 layers of fabric: the neckline, one edge of the folded extension, and also the other edge. Okay, so pin all the way, and this is kind of easier to do on a mannequin, but you can pull it off, you know, on a flat surface like I did successfully. After pinning, sew the neckline up, and your kimono should look like this when you're done. You know, I don't have enough fabric here, but if I had enough fabric, you would have really seen the drape. The drape would have like been defined. You can sew a skirt to wear under it if you want to create the exact style on the thumbnail. And you know, this is how the back looks. It looks neat on the inside and also on the outside. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video, and turn on your post notification for more. And check out my other video on how to cut and sew a kaftan, a belted kaftan, and also how to cut a no sew kaftan here. Thank you so much for watching.